So I already cleansed, exfoliated, moisturized. I also put eye cream on. I have really, really dry under eyes. The one thing that I do like to do is add a little bit of an illuminator on the high points of my face. So this is the Este Lauder, the Illuminator Radiant Perfecting Primer and Finisher. It says that you can use this underneath your foundation and you can reapply it throughout the day. I've never tried to put it on over foundation. I think that seems really weird because it is a little more thicker and it doesn't dry down. It's tacky, but I really like this underneath my foundation. It really gives that like glow from within look, and it doesn't make me extra oily, so I don't take a lot. And I will just go in with my finger like so and pat it. And I apply this all over my forehead. Now I'm going to take a little bit of the Porefessional. You can get a primer. It doesn't, you know, based on what you need. I just take a tiny bit of this. I do have large pores around my nose and on my cheek area because I am acne prone. So I just take a tiny bit of this and I will pat it into the skin and then I'll rub it. See, I took the smallest bit, so I'm just patting it to get some on this finger. And I'm just going to pat this all over my pores right here. I don't put it on my nose because nothing can stick to my foundation if I do that. I'm going to go back in with another illuminator. This is the Cover FX Custom Enhancer Drops. You don't need to do this. I like to do this personally. And I will just take this and put it on the high points of my face. So now for foundation, I'm actually going to be using two drugstore foundations today, and I'm going to mix them together. My all-time favorite foundation is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD stick, but I just ran out and I haven't made it to Sephora to get any yet. But the two foundations that I'm going to be mixing together today are the Maybelline Superstay 24-Hour Foundation and the Wet n Wild Photofocus Foundation. And with those, I'm going to be mixing the 24 karat gold serum from Masqueology. It looks like this. This is supposed to help to give moisture and elasticity to the skin, this serum. So I'm going to take one little paddle, well, two little paddles of the Wet n Wild Photofocus Foundation, you can see. And then I'm going to take the Maybelline Superstay and I'm just going to add a tiny bit of that in. I think one pump, because that adds a little extra more coverage. The Wet n Wild Photofocus Foundation isn't super full coverage, it's buildable, but the Superstay is insanely full coverage. So now I'm just going to take 2 drops of this. This does have a little tiny gold flakes in them, so it's really nice. 1, 2, and this helps to manipulate the formula to make it not so cakey, and then I'm just going to mix everything together. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to apply this in the center of my face with my finger. You don't have to apply it on your face with your finger. If you would feel better to apply it with a paddle brush, geez. But I first like to add all my foundation in the center of my face and then just blend out. So I'm going to take my beauty sponge. I always recommend using a beauty sponge, even if you would like to apply it with a foundation brush first. Definitely go over it with a beauty sponge because it's going to soak up all that extra cakiness that is on the skin. So I'm just going to dip into this a tiny bit, and then I'm just going to start going in and just blending everything out. I'm using a really light hand and going in circular motions and just blending all of that in. No matter what your foundation is, even if you think that it matches your skin, it doesn't. There's no perfect foundation color. Always take it down your neck. And I don't take this foundation the whole way up underneath my eyes because I do have dry under eyes, like I said before. So now we have a nice base. It's definitely not super full coverage. You can still see some redness over here through my acne. But what you want to do is let that set and do your concealer and then add a little bit more if need be. So I'm going to go in with the Clinique Line Smoothing Concealer. This has a more peachy undertone, so I'm going to apply right underneath where my darkness is. And I'm just going to add 2 dots. It's not super light, but it's going to help with fine lines and stuff. And it doesn't crease on me. So again, I'm going to take my Beauty Blender and just go in and blend that right underneath my eye. And take that into the inner corner too, because I have darkness right there. So next I'm going to go in with the Maybelline Master Conceal Concealer in 10 Fair. Okay, so I'm going to take this and squirt a little bit out on my hand. You really don't need a lot of this. And I'm going to take my Tarte concealer brush. You don't have to do this. You can take your hand and just apply it. But I'm going to apply this in the center of my face to highlight. So this is going to go right here on the forehead. And you want to bring highlights to the face, because if you just apply foundation and you don't apply any bronzer or concealer, it looks really flat and not natural, because even without foundation, people don't look like that. So you want to apply it like so on the chin. And then you want to take it down the bridge of the nose. I'm going to blend everything out first. So I'm going to blend this. I always go in with my Beauty Blender first whenever I'm blending concealer. I find that it just blends the best that way, and it really gives an airbrushed effect on the face when you use a beauty sponge. So blending the chin out. And then the last thing that I blend out is my nose, because I kind of wanted my concealer to dry down there a little bit, because it adds a tad bit more coverage and it really helps the light to go there and make your nose look slimmer. And I'm just going to take that same concealer, I'm going to put it down here to bring light back, and you can see on my pores, and I'm going to take it down the sides of the nose. As you can guess, I'm going back in with my Beauty Blender and blending all of that out. And I'm making sure I don't take that up to my under eye, because it does crease. So you really want to have all the light in the center of the face, because it makes your face look slimmer and adds more dimension. So now that we have the concealer and the foundation on and the primer and blah blah blah, we're going to go ahead and set the face. I'm going to take my Coty Airspun. This is from Walmart. It's $6, I think. I really like this stuff. It does have a scent to it, but it does such a good job at blurring everything out. Even though I'm 20, I do have some fine lines underneath my eyes. So I take my sponge, I dip into the lid, and as you can see, a lot of powder came off. I'm going to pat that excess powder into my hand, like so, so there's not as much. And I'm going to start setting right here and just really work to push that in. And I'm not going to set right underneath my eyes, but I'm just going to set the rest of my face, and using a very light hand, because you do not want to disrupt the foundation that you're applying this powder on top of. So make sure you're using a really light hand and applying it wherever you need to. For contour, I'm going to be going in with my Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. This has been to hell and back. It's very dirty, very loved. Oh god, I can't hold it. But this is what it looks like. I'm going to mix the lightest shade with the darkest shade, and I'm going to start applying this. Okay, so for contouring, you want to move your face in the light to kind of see where the shadow, the natural shadow goes. So on my face, the shadow is right here. I don't have super prominent high cheekbones, but they are there. But right here, You want to try and go with your contour from right here on your ear to right here on your lip. When you're blending your contour, you want to make sure that you're blending upward, because if you blend downward, it's going to go right here and lower than you wanted, and it's going to make you look like you have a 5 o'clock shadow. I'm going to start blending that contour, and I do like to pat it and then blend. So as you can see, I didn't go past right here with the contour, like so, and then I'm going to take it up on the forehead, because I feel like my forehead's a little big. Make sure when you do your contour, bronzers, or things like that, don't take a lot on your brush at a time, because it can get muddy. So kind of build everything up to make it look natural. Now we're gonna bronze. I like warm tone bronzers, but sometimes they can be very intimidating. But I'm gonna go in with the MAC Give Me Sun. Bronzers are not contours. They're supposed to bronze the face, so they're not cool tone. They're not going to add shadow to the face. They're just going to add a nice flush of warmth to the skin. And you can just apply this messily wherever you want. And I'm just using a flat top brush. I don't know where this came from, but I'm just using this. I like to apply this to my cheeks, my forehead, my jawline, and I always take it down my neck, and then I like to go up on my nose, just because I think it just blends everything in pretty well. So then after that, I'm going to add some blush, and I'm going to use the same brush that I just did, this flat top brush, and I'm using the DLS blush in Kitty Pink. I got this in an Ipsy bag before. It's a really pretty coral pink, and I've used a lot of it. So I'm going to take this, and the best way I can tell you to do your blush is to hit the apples of your cheeks and get hair off your face, where this socket is right here, of that little fat area. When you go like that, you want to hit your apples and then blend it into your bronzer and your contour. So, and then flick it back into your, blend it with your bronzer contour area. And that just adds a nice wash of color. And I add blush. I take whatever's left on the brush, put it all over my forehead, underneath my chin, on my nose, and just rub it down my neck, because I find that it just really helps to blend everything together. After blush comes highlight, everyone's favorite part, or at least mine. So I'm going to go back in with my e.l.f. Flawless Concealer brush. Some people use fan brushes, but I find this brush really helps to target certain, like, specific areas of the face. So I'm going to take this, dip into my Becca Champagne Pop that's broken. This is how much I have on it. And I'm just going to, you need to go like this. And that primer, that illuminator that we put on before, this is where it helps, because you can see right here it has a sheen underneath, so you can see where to put it. So I'm just going to apply it where the light hits naturally, which is right here. And I'm going to apply this right here on my chin and on my Cupid's bow, because I don't have a big one and I want bigger lips. And then just take it wherever else that I want it. So now you have highlight. Now, I'm actually going to go into my Jaclyn Hill X Morphe palette. Do not judge how dirty it is. I'm going to dip into this shade right here. I don't have the names with me, like that sheet that has all the names, so I can't tell you, but it's this very first shade, and I'm going to dip into that as a highlight. I took my highlight brush and dipped it in there, and I'm going to put it right over the Champagne Pop, right at the highest points, to really make everything pop. And it just adds a really nice glow. So after that, now I'm gonna bake, and I'm gonna show you how and where I bake on my face. I'm gonna dip into that Coty Airspun again, take a large amount of powder, and I'm going to put that on the side of my nose right here and right here on my cheeks. Kind of over that blush a little bit, but it's okay. Now doing this on my nose helps to really pinch it and help that contour to look really, really good. So I do that, and then I'm going to bake on my cheekbones. So you want to go from your ear, you want to go at the angle of from your ear to your lip. So I'm going to go like this, but I'm not going to take it the whole way to my lip. I'm just going to go like this and kind of curve it up. While that sets, I'm going to go off camera, do my makeup, or do my eyes, and then I'll come back and brush off, spray my face, finish it, and yeah. So, I will be right back, guys. Okay, guys, I am back. We need to take this bake off. I did my eyes. I filmed a tutorial on this look, and it was like a more in-depth how to smoky eye look. I couldn't think of it. But now I'm just going to take my bake off. I like using this big fluffy brush. It's the Morphe E41 brush. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video on this look right here on my skin. I hope that you found something new, that you learned from this or found a new product or something. Let me know down in the comments if there's any other videos that you guys want me to film. Don't forget to hit the like button on this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell wherever it is on the screen, and I will see you next time.
I'm on my own.